two groups, two FIFA moments, two completely different chapters of history. One entered the conversation as a global legend, while the other entered as a rising challenger. One stood at the peak of worldwide dominance, the other was still fighting to prove they belonged on the global stage. But somehow, both names became tied to the same global giant, FIFA. And that's where this story becomes bigger than music itself. Because this isn't just about performances, it's about timing, it's about scale, it's about a breakthrough, and it's about the exact moment when two different groups from two completely different worlds found themselves connected to the biggest sporting platform on Earth. But here's the question almost nobody is asking. When people hear BTS and FIFA, and then hear SB19 and FIFA, are they really talking about the same thing? Or are these two moments far more different than the internet makes them seem? Because once you look deeper, the truth changes everything. And it starts with BTS. For years, BTS had been doing what very few artists in modern history ever managed to do. Not just breaking records, but rewriting them. Album after album, tour after tour, stadium after stadium. They crossed borders that once seemed impossible. Language barriers, industry barriers, cultural barriers, they didn't just enter the global market, they shifted it entirely. That was the turning point. The moment K-pop stopped being viewed as a niche genre and started becoming a worldwide force. At the center of that shift stood 7 individuals: RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. By the time FIFA entered the conversation, BTS wasn't building momentum anymore. They already have the momentum. That's if BTS steps onto a FIFA opening stage, it isn't a discovery, it's a collision. The biggest music group meets the biggest sporting event. Billions watching. One moment, one shot, one history-defining stage. And that's why fans call it legacy. Not a breakthrough, legacy. A moment where success evolves into permanence, where influence transforms into history. But while BTS represented arrival, SB19 represented ascent. And their FIFA story couldn't have been more different. Because, unlike BTS, SB19's connection to FIFA didn't begin with certainty. It began with confusion, a clip, a repost, a viral caption. Suddenly, the internet exploded with one question. Did SB19 really perform at FIFA? Was it official? Was it exaggerated? Questions spread faster than answers. And in that chaos, one crucial thing got lost: context. Because SB19's FIFA-linked moment was never about the main World Cup ceremony. It was about something else, something quieter, but in many ways just as important: the FIFA Fan Festival. And that difference changes everything. Because while the opening ceremony is the centerpiece, the Fan Festival is the heartbeat. Thousands gathering, cultures colliding, music merging with football. A living ecosystem surrounding the tournament itself. That's where SB19 entered. Not as already established global rulers, but as representatives of something bigger than themselves. Representatives of Ppop. Representatives of Filipino music. Representatives of a rising movement are still fighting for international space. And that's what made their moment a breakthrough. Not because of the label, but because of what it symbolized. For years, Filipino pop existed in the shadow of bigger entertainment powers. Western dominance, K-pop dominance, massive industries with decades of infrastructure. Breaking through that wall wasn't easy, but SB19 started cracking it, one song at a time, one performance at a time, one fan at a time. Then came the FIFA moment, not the main ceremonial spotlight, but still a global platform connected to the world's biggest event. And suddenly, people from dozens of countries were seeing them. Many for the very first time. No prior fandom, no emotional attachment, just raw performance. And first impressions matter. That's where the shift happened. That's where visibility became validation. And that's where this comparison becomes fascinating. Because BTS and SB19 didn't enter FIFA from the same position. Not even close. BTS entered as giants. SB19 entered as challengers. BTS entered with a legacy already written. SB19 entered while still writing theirs. BTS stood as proof of global dominance. SB19 stood as proof of global possibility. That's the difference. And that difference matters. Because timing changes meaning. If BTS performs at FIFA, the world sees confirmation. Confirmation of power. Confirmation of status. Confirmation of influence. But when SB19 stepped into FIFA's ecosystem, the world saw an emergence, potential, growth, a movement rising. One reinforces, the other introduces. One protects the throne, the other builds toward it. And that's why comparing these moments is so powerful. Because on the surface, both are tied to FIFA. But beneath the surface, they represent completely different chapters of the music industry. BTS represents what happens when an Asian act conquers the world. SB19 represents what happens when another Asian act begins knocking on that same door. That's the shift. And FIFA became the mirror reflecting it. For decades, the world's biggest entertainment spaces were dominated by the same regions, the same industries, and the same systems. But now, that landscape is changing. Slowly, quietly, powerfully, K-pop broke the wall. Ppop is now testing how wide that opening can become. And both stories, in their own way, crossed paths with FIFA. One at the summit, one on the climb, one carrying legacy, one carrying ambition. But both are carrying something even bigger, representation. And maybe that's the real story here. Not who had the bigger stage, not who had the louder crowd, but what their presence meant. For millions watching, for fans back home, for industries still trying to grow, for younger artists wondering if global stages are even possible. BTS answered that question years ago. Yes, it is possible. SB19 took that answer and pushed it further. Yes. And maybe there's still more room. That's the breakthrough. That's the turning point. That's the shift. And maybe that's why these two FIFA moments feel connected even when they are so different. Because both moments tell the same deeper truth. The world is changing. The center of music is shifting. And the global stage is getting bigger. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. What happens next? If BTS turns FIFA into another legacy chapter, what does that mean for the next generation? And if SB19 turned a fan festival into a global breakthrough, how far can they really go from here? Because history has a pattern. It starts with one group, then another, until suddenly, what once felt impossible becomes normal. And maybe, just maybe, we are watching that happen right now. Not in the future, not someday, now. Because sometimes history arrives loudly, like BTS. And sometimes history arrives quietly, like SB19. But both leave a mark. And the most powerful part? This story may only be the beginning.